Hey guys, this is Whitney with Lights Camera No. We're back in 2021. We survived 2020.
Just barely.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully.
I feel like every day of 2020, we were on the cusp of that asteroid from Deep Impact or from Armageddon, just like coming out of nowhere, just like, oops. And just like, that was
right.
That was all she wrote.
I gotta be honest with you though. Yeah, midnight came around. I was excited. I was like ready to go into 2021, but I also was like, you know what? It's just another day tomorrow. So like, let's not get too excited.
I think that's honestly why I was like kind of in a funk for a few days. Like, even though rationally I knew nothing was going to change overnight, it was just like once it got here and it was like, oh, yeah, still the same. Then I was kind of like in a funk for a few days over it. Like, I don't know. I'm better now.
Yeah, I would sort of felt the same way. And then like taking down the Christmas decorations was depressing as it always is, but there was like
I couldn't wait to get them down this year.
I mean, I had that feeling of like, I want to like get everything organized, but I also was like, this is going to hurt a lot more today.
I just didn't decorate that much this year.
We didn't either. We barely put any of our stuff up. And
that was the smart move. I put everything I had out.
Mike and Evie.
I was like, joy!
Did most of it. So.
I remember you texting me. I'm like, get your booty up and throw an ornament on the tree. You'll feel better.
I didn't. And I didn't.
I think I got more ornaments as gifts than I actually put up this year. So,
yeah.
You know what? The important thing is we survived. We're back to entertain.
That's right. We're here.
All of our friends.
It's here in 2021, and we've decided we're going to make it a better year.
We're starting with a big one, right?
Yes.
One of the
for this week.
Horror movies.
This Classic. Is only, well, no, I say this is actually the third one that we've done, the final of the big three, because we did Halloween and we've already done Friday the 13th, but this week it is Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, which debuted in, was it 1984? Yes.
I think that's right.
Yeah, 1984, starring a baby Johnny Depp, Heather Langenkamp, Robert Englund as Freddy, and then your girl was in it as the teacher, Lauren.
Yes, I saw her, Elise.
Yes,
Elise. Not her real name.
But... No, what is her real name? I couldn't think of it. I
didn't bother to look
Lynn
it up.
Shay.
Yes, Lynn Shay. That's it. I knew it when I heard it.
And another, it was just a very bit part, but the one of the sheriff's like deputies or something. He was the one. I think his name was Parker in the movie. He was also the sheriff in
Parker.
He was the sheriff in Scream.
Yeah, he's a bad cop. He's not good at his job.
We're gonna get to it, but he made me roll mad.
I feel like I know who you're talking. I feel like I made a note of this specific cop.
Okay, I'm sure you did. It was hard not to. So, okay, Eric, I guess go ahead and give us our summary, and then we can dive into this train wreck.
What happens when a child murderer gets off on a technicality and the whole town forms a lynch mob to burn him alive? Well, if you're anything like good old Fred Krueger, you'll get magic dream powers so you can come back and play with all your new friends. Elm Street's about to get fired up, so put a pot of coffee on, and whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
That's why this movie, out of all of them, gives me the most anxiety, because I love sleep more than the average person.
Right.
Well, and to not be able to go to sleep and like not be safe when you sleep, it's horrifying to me.
And I will say I feel like one of the more powerful psychological elements in this movie is the fact, on top of that, you have stacked on the fact that you think you wake up, but maybe you're still in the dream.
Yeah. There has to be.
You never know if you're actually awake and alive.
There has to be a surefire way to know if you're in a dream or not, like to get yourself out of it. Like, isn't there like some folklore about
I think that we just need to get the guys from Inception to meet Freddy Krueger and they can figure it out, because I couldn't even figure it out watching the movie.
Well, sometimes it would be her alarm would wake her up. Sometimes she had to like burn her arm on like a giant boiler like pipe.
Well, we'll talk more about it at the end, but I have concerns.
I have a lot of concerns
about reality after watching this movie.
I almost feel like this is a movie where we should go back to our previous format and kind of go through scene by scene, because there were so many issues. Like there were so
there were definitely.
See, I thought Eric was going to be pleased with like the title sequence, because those, in my opinion, looked like some mechanically sound. Like,
I will say,
claw mechanisms.
True to the craftsmanship it would take to build those, this movie was on point. I mean, they really illustrated what it would be like if you were a maniacal child murderer who wanted to make knives for hands. I mean, who has the time to DIY a knife glove? Freddy Krueger.
Well, he doesn't have a whole lot else going on. He doesn't have a whole lot else going on.
He doesn't have a lot going on. He lives in a boiler room and
exactly.
He kills children. That's all he's got.
Which we'll have to, I know we'll get to it, but like the backstory of Freddy Krueger, it's kind of like convoluted, right? Like it kind of goes back and forth, correct?
I thought so.
The parents think he did it, and then it turns out they didn't do it, but then he did do it. Like
did he or did? I'm still not.
Was he a child predator or was he not? Like, were the parents wrong and that's why he's mad, or was he mad from forever because he was a child predator?
The first time I ever saw this movie, I remember thinking like, oh, the parents were wrong in this instance. And this is him like seeking vengeance. But now, like having seen it in more recent years, I'm like, I don't know.
I just don't know. Usually, as an adult watching these movies and going back and visiting them, I almost always side with the killer because I'm like, they are annoying.
These people suck.
Don't like these people and their terrible decisions. They start out with Tina, just Nancy's best friend, just incessantly telling everybody her dream. And if there is something that I hate, it is listening to other people's dreams. I hate it. I don't care.
No, like, several years after we've been friends.
No, you don't ever tell me your dreams that I remember. Or if you do, they must be entertaining enough that I haven't noticed.
I mean,
but for the most part, it's like people are like, isn't this weird? And it's like, no, it's a dream. Like that's
but on the off chance, wouldn't you want to know on the off chance that, like, I had a dream and then you were like, oh my God, the same thing happened to me.
Well, I did make a point in my notes to be like, I hate hearing people's dreams, but if I had this dream, I would be telling everyone who would listen. Because
if it were me,
then everyone has to listen to me.
I don't want to hear your dreams, but let me tell you about what happened to me last night.
I was scarred by a friend telling me her dream once, and it has lived rent-free in my head ever since. It was the most disturbing thing I've ever heard, and I hate it.
Oh, well, that makes sense. You were hurt. Before.
I love hearing about people's dreams.
Do you want to hear the disturbing one?
I do, actually. Yes, very much.
So obviously, it's Emily, and if you guys don't know,
sure.
Like listeners, she's my best friend, and we've been best friends since we were like 2.
Well, so I can say this.
She knows. I always tell her, I'm like, oh, all I think about. And she cracks up. She thinks it's so funny. One time she had this dream where she thought she had like a little pimple on her chin, like right here. And she started to like squeeze it. And when she did, a light bulb came out. And it makes me so sick to my stomach. Like, and she said she just unscrewed it and it was done.
Oh my God.
And it really bothered
That's like a more satisfying version of that.
No.
That scary story to tell in the dark with the spiders.
Oh yeah.
No.
That but I would rather a light bulb come out and me be able to untwist it and forget about it.
Twist it off and you're done. Wait, did it leave a blemish though?
I don't know. Seriously, she told me that.
Did you like look up what that meant?
No, I don't want to know. Like I think
I need to know.
Dream at least once a day and have for over 20 years now. So
I'd say this is our first spiral, but dreams relate directly to this movie.
Yes,
so we're not spiraled.
Anyways, we'll get back to Tina's dream. And she starts telling people that she's had this dream where a guy with knives for fingers is chasing her. And then Nancy, is this when she says like, oh yeah, I had this dream too? And like, nobody's alarmed that they had the exact same dream.
They're all 4 standing. Well, I guess the one guy.
Yeah, like in front of the school. And then the one guy runs away and they're like, did you have a dream? And he's like so far.
He's like, not going to talk about it. Oh man, I had this crazy dream about this guy with knives. Somebody said 4 times in this movie, and they were all there the first time it happened.
Right. Johnny Depp does not say, Glenn does not say that Emily must be watching, because she said, I don't feel like they're that disturbed by the light bulb dream.
I'm
was
not,
disturbing.
Emily. I'm not.
I'm kind of here for it.
And I just looked it up. I looked up the meaning of it, and it's like it was representative of a problem that you needed to solve yourself, and that's it. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not crazy.
Well, I still hate it. Just letting you know. Thanks. I hate it.
You got to accept or face reality.
Anyways, Johnny Depp does not say that he has the dream until like almost the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Oh, yeah.
I also had that dream. What?
Hello, present that information, sir. We're laying all
We
the
can
facts
all
on the
work
table
together to solve
trying
this
to solve
problem.
Exactly.
But
He's
no.
like, that's not important.
No, I'm not going to mention this now. We can talk.
I don't want
it
to talk
later.
about me.
It's
And
not
upset with.
important.
I don't want to take away from you.
You would like him as a friend.
Oh, yeah. I would love him as a friend. He is dreamy.
A dreamy man with some dreamy bangs.
Yeah. So I swear to God, it's like within like the first 20 minutes where Tina gets slashed up, and you're kind of like, but is that like we're starting right like straight out the gate?
Right, yeah, because I mean, it's at this point in the movie, if you don't know anything about it, it's unclear. Like, is this a dream? Is this actually happening to her? Like, is she gonna wake up and be fine? Like, because there are movies like that where they
Right.
like you have a dream and it's terrible, and then you wake up and you're like, oh.
Until her boyfriend does absolutely nothing to help.
Oh my gosh, the worst. Like, she's like
Right?
rocking around on the bed, and he's like, babe, wake up.
Yeah, that's all he does. And then he cowers in the corner.
He's like, oh,
And
and
at
she's
one
being like
point-
lifted off of the ground, bleeding to death.
At one
I
point,
mean, at least grab a girl and drag her back to the fold
right.
like a gentleman.
At one point he is in jail, and he's like, I just think maybe if I'd done more. And it's like, no, man, if you would have done anything, anything.
Tried any kind of move, you might have been able to she would have come out hurt, but maybe lived.
I don't know, maybe try and staunch the bleeding.
He just watched her get dragged all over the floor, all over the
across the
ceiling.
room.
Yeah.
Listen, though, we're talking about the guy who knew he was going to get blamed for this murder and chose to stay in his hometown instead of go out on the road and try to save himself.
The next
Just
day when he
wandered around in the bushes.
He still got blood on him.
Yeah. He's still in that. He was in the leather jacket the whole time. They didn't even give him a suit to wear when he got to jail. He was in the same leather jacket.
They were like, you look good, kid.
We'll keep it. We like this rebel look you got going on.
It works. It works for you.
I love how, I don't know. I guess at that point he wasn't aware, what the dreams were part of the issue, but he just was resting easy in that jail cell the entire time.
Really wasn't concerned.
Not at all.
As I always say, nobody is ever alarmed enough for anything. They're back in school the next day. It's
even Nancy was.
Yeah, she's back in Lynn Shay's class.
I just want to go to school. I can't stay here. Girl, there are thousands. Watch TV all day.
Yeah, I would. Well, first, I would never want to be alone. And she was fine being alone several different
times. Yeah, she was alone the whole movie, pretty much.
Yeah. And
then she'd ask somebody to be with her, and they'd
be like, you're fine.
They wouldn't show up, or they'd fall asleep too, or they'd just abandon her. And
one thing she asked them not to do. Good night.
No wonder she's always on her own.
Well, her mom, they do point out that her mom is an alcoholic, and
they did.
Mom and the dad don't have a good relationship after the divorce, apparently. But the dad is useless as a cop.
Truly.
I texted Eric this earlier as I was watching it, and I was like, I hate a horror movie parent. I hate them.
They're uninvolved.
They're uninvolved. They never believe their kid. And like Eric said, you want to go save the world? Sorry, can't. You're grounded now. And it's
so
go to your room.
Some evil force needs only you to stop it. No, get to your room.
I get that the entire
no TV
neighborhood is filling up with gremlins, but you need to stay in your room.
Yeah. No phone, no internet.
And give that thing a bath.
Yes.
I feel like if either of your guys' kids came up to you with like a concern like that, you would be like, where?
Yes.
Like, let's address it.
I'd be like,
no, Whitney would be like, where we're leaving. I would be the one to be like, where? I want to see. Like,
I'd be like, I need notes on what happened and
demon.
how, like, what route we need to take to get away. Eric would be like, I need to figure out how I can contact this demon and see what he can do for me.
I just want to know why he's here. I mean, nobody goes anywhere for no reason. So, like, what's up?
Yeah, I don't know. The parents in horror movies are always, they never believe their kids. Like, and they're at one point, Nancy has blood on her and they're like, yeah, we don't believe you. Like, and they keep it a secret that they know. That they know who Freddy Krueger is.
And she's literally in the hospital, like under a sleep machine, like being monitored. And she goes in like in a nightgown with nothing on her. And she comes out with cuts and a hat. And her mom's still just like, you're crazy. There's something wrong with you.
How many
times? You
times?
told me this man's name and I know him. I killed him.
How many times does she describe him as a man with fingers or with knives for fingers? And none of the parents are like, oh,
this entire town had to
know
know
that guy.
about that guy. I mean, her dad was
they killed him.
Sheriff.
They're the ones that murdered him.
You're the one that killed him.
Unless I like, because I did have to do like some work in the middle of this. So I was like, and it was right at the part where they're explaining the backstory.
No.
Did he get his fingers?
No, he made those gloves himself.
Yeah, they were like
I know
in
that.
the furnace.
Selling them on Etsy.
Well, okay, so this is so the backstory we get is that he kills a little girl, and the whole case was open shut. They had him dead to rights, but somebody forgot to sign the search warrant. And because of that, he got off. And so what happened was he went back to his little boiler room, and then the mom, Marge, was that her name?
Yes, I think
her
so.
and all of her friends, her and all the other parents went and found him and burned him alive inside of that boiler room. So I have a lot of problems with this because as she's telling the story, she pulls out the glove. She's like, and I've got his glove. And it's like, did you go back into the fire to get it? Did you take it from him before you burned him alive? That seems premeditated.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look burnt up. My second problem is you all lit a boiler room on fire. Like, you couldn't lure him out and like shoot him or something. Like, it would have exploded. It would have been terrible.
I feel like all of them would have died as well.
Right. Like,
right.
Because
they stood
around and watched it burn. Okay. Which is my third and final problem with this scenario, which is not only did these psychopaths kill this man, they stayed to watch it happen. It takes a long time for a building to burn down.
Which, had they been personally affected by him? Had he murdered any of their children? They were just
I think it was just like a community, like,
it was like, we hate this guy. He's a sex offender, pedophile type thing.
I mean,
right?
I get it.
Now I'm wondering, is that why the mom became an alcoholic, or was she always an alcoholic? Like, did she become an alcoholic because she murdered a man, premeditated, and
right? Like,
it's got to weigh pretty heavy on the conscience.
I'm upset about it. I'm going to be honest. At the end of the movie, when she's telling us about it, she just kind of seems like it was just like a bad day she had in 1987.
That's what
was a bad day.
Bought all her satin sleepwear and
right.
She was always in like some sort of like satin get up.
She was always in a nightgown, yeah.
Yeah. With a bottle like in her hand.
Like a bottle of vodka, like right behind
boozy,
her,
like 80s mom. Just
right. It was
real,
the 80s.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I was overly concerned when Nancy took a bath, like storming in the bathroom, like,
I
heard you screaming.
You could drown. And it's
what was her like weird statistic about people dying in the tub? Like, is that true?
Oh god.
I feel like I was scared of it when I was little.
I feel like
what freaked me out was how much Nancy was buying into the whole like mythology of Freddy Krueger at this point, because she's in the bathtub singing the little song
by herself.
Yeah. Now this is coming from the girl who was afraid to go into the bathroom in elementary school because of Bloody Mary, but like I also feel like Nancy shouldn't be in the tub singing her song, singing her happy tune.
That was part of my thing, was like that Nancy never cared to be alone, it seemed like, until like, I don't know, until it suited her like at that moment.
even
She's
at
like,
the
I'm
end-
fine. It was just a little dream.
Right. Like, well, by that
Amazing.
point, she had already like decided like it was her mission to stop Freddy, I guess, which I don't know why. Like, what gave her the idea she could stop a dream demon?
Well, she just thought that she could just drag him out, which I also thought was, but I guess she got that idea from the when she took the hat out.
At least
She put
in,
the power in the wrong people's hands. Like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna go in and get him. You stay here,
you put
please.
Dad, I need you to come over in
Oh my
exactly
God.
20 minutes. And then she spends 20 minutes setting up the traps, and
Yeah.
then she goes to sleep.
Yes. I was like,
The
this is
hell?
way, I mean, I was like, maybe she's so tired that like if she lays down, she
She's
will
gonna
go
be
straight to sleep.
right away.
But also, those booby traps definitely took more than 20 minutes to set up.
Absolutely.
Like she had to like cut out a hole in the glass and then like load it with like gunpowder.
It's like arts and crafts at that point.
Yes, that is
Also-
Drying time, like
would
I
not have blown up like
I
that.
wondered that too, and I was like, Eric will know. He'll know.
Well,
He'll tell
not
me.
mechanically
You
sound.
tell you all how to make good improvised explosive devices out of light bulbs. You don't drill a hole in the top of the light bulb. You're going to crack the glass. You're going to cut your hand, and it's just going to be a flash. Woo!
What
And
if
it's
you
not
have
gonna
a
blow you.
glass cutter?
What you do is you very carefully break you twist the metal part that
Pull the fuse out.
and you pull the whole thing out, reserve it. Then you fill your light bulb with your gunpowder and BBs if you want to hurt somebody. Then you glue it back on. Then you screw it in and turn it on, and then it will blow up and make
This
a
is
bomb.
some Home Alone shit right now.
So that's how you do it. Don't do it at home.
Don't try that, but if you're trying to catch
Legally, I
a
have to
sleep
tell
demon,
you, you're not supposed to do that.
absolutely do that.
Ever since I
Only if
got
a
on that
sleep demon is
list-
involved.
How did he get to be a sleep demon? Like, do you get
know.
to choose what kind of demon you want to be?
Like he killed a kid, right? In his
Right.
past.
That was
It's
it.
not
that's
even
why-
Not
like-
that that's
one,
like
just
not
the one.
Just
Right,
one
like
girl.
that's awful.
That's
right. That's
one
terrible,
girl.
but like
but
No,
happens
but
every day.
why then is he okay? So then he is killed. Why is he like? I'm
So
going to become a sleep.
I'm pretty
demon?
sure in one of the later movies they kind of just chalk it up to like his like hatred for them for killing him was
Which-
so strong that it just like he became a poltergeist of sorts.
which
And I guess the
that's
easiest
like
way was
a
to get to
common-
them through sleep.
Yeah,
well, that's
but
like a common thing.
they killed
Yeah.
him for killing a girl. Why was he mad? Like, if that was me, not that that would ever be me, but if that was me, I'd be like, damn, I guess they got me.
I deserve this.
Like-
Yeah.
This was coming to me. What did you expect?
Karma.
Well, but don't you think like that they would why did he go? I mean, I guess it's because it was their kids, but also like why don't they ever go after the parents? First of all,
Like
parents
his
in horror.
parents?
Well,
Oh,
no,
you
he
mean
went
Freddy
the
go
people
after
that
Oh,
killed him.
well, I'm pretty sure he was just trying to torture her mother through her or something like that. That's what I was picking up until the end. I don't know. It just kind of seems like he really got a crush on her and was really just going for it.
Yeah,
Like he's
the whole
going for the
bathtub
kids of the
scene is
people
a
who
little-
murdered him, maybe.
Well, I get that, which is a common like thing in horror movies.
Right.
Like a lot of times they go after the kids.
Right.
There was that one we did drive through
Yeah.
and the guy was
The
going
exact
after.
premise of that movie. Yeah.
Yes. But I'm also like the parents are always like woefully unequipped to handle a demon.
Anything.
They'd
Right,
be
yeah.
pretty easy to pick off. Like
Yeah.
you just should make your
If
job.
they
a
don't
whole lot
believe
easier.
anything, and they're just like, oh, and they just like be in the dream thinking it was reality because they don't believe in dreams. I guess I don't know what the deal was with the parents.
But for the killer though, that's no fun. Like a killer likes a challenge, right? Like
at the very least,
that needs to be part of the game, part of the hunt for them.
I just feel like if your kid comes to you and they said, "Hey, I got this mysterious cut on my arm while I was sleeping," and it's this crazy guy with knives who you know about because you murdered him,
That's
maybe
what
at some point somebody would have been like, maybe we should.
This
I don't
sounds
know,
familiar.
Call what's her name? From Poltergeist.
Zelda.
No, her name in the movie. It's like oh,
What is her name in the movie?
it's not.
This is
Talina.
your
It's-
movie.
I know, but I know her.
I
as,
was gonna
like,
say
I'm just
Elise.
thinking
I would call Elise.
Zelda.
I don't know.
Rubinstein.
Her name is Zelda Rubinstein, but anyways, the point is it feels like maybe you would have done a little
Tangina.
more. Tangina.
Of course. Duh.
Thank
How did we
you.
not?
Tiny Tangina.
Duh.
Tangina.
She was very tiny.
But
I was kind of disappointed that we really didn't see any, which they definitely get into it in the sequels, but you really only see Freddy. I think I looked it up. I think you see him a total of 7 minutes. It's either 7 or 14 minutes throughout the entire film.
Like skulking around behind a tree.
Well, Wes Craven knew that like the unseen was a little bit scarier.
Right. Well,
and
and
actually
outside of his burns, he's not really that scary.
no, he's always cracking jokes.
Yeah, he's like a wise guy.
He's my absolute favorite.
He is he's the king of puns for sure.
He just like my favorite scene in this entire movie is the first time you really get to see him. And he's like in this alleyway chasing it's in
Tina. He's chasing
Tina's dream. He's chasing Tina. And the first time you see him, he's just like walking down the street with his like 8-foot long arms that are long for no apparent reason. He's just like being goofy. And then he'll just like playing peekaboo with her. Like he waits for her to turn around and then she turns back and he's like, surprise.
He runs like a toddler.
I know he's like
he runs like a toddler as he's chasing her down this alley. I would kind of be like, what are you doing? Like,
well,
yeah.
I guess
sir,
the fact
are you being for real?
The fact that he can just like pop up anywhere he wants. I guess he just has fun with the fact that he doesn't actually need to run or walk. He's just like being goofy all the time. And I love it.
He reminded me of Pennywise in that way.
Yes.
How like Pennywise can kind of morph into
where he like goes and he like looks and he like tiptoes behind the like when he is the old lady in the second one. He like tiptoes and it's like it looks like when you don't have a towel after you get out of the shower and you're like trying to like get through the house like
before anybody sees you.
That's what it reminds me of. But what I was saying was like I was a little disappointed. You really only get to see Freddy in Nancy's dreams mostly, and then you see him in Tina's dreams right before he kills her. But for the most part, you don't see him in Rod's dream, and you don't see him in Glenn's dream, at all. And I think they definitely like go into it more in the sequels. It's been years since I've seen them, but I know that like I think it's the third one. Is it Dream Warriors? That's like also really popular in the series. I can't remember. They have
don't his jokes get cornier? Later movies as well.
Well, because Robert Englund starts to like, I think they like let him like play with the
he
role
really got
more.
invested.
Right, like he got into the character.
Well, I mean that's what he's known as, and I think he's
right.
Has he been tapped for the new Scream? He was coming back in something, and I was like, oh, I thought he passed away though.
No, this is what was that other movie we just did recently?
Urban Legend. He was in Urban Legend.
Yes, Urban Legend. He was the professor.
Yeah.
Did he die? Like sad. Now.
He's in movies coming up.
He can't be dead. He's got work to do.
He was just in Spy Kids.
Maybe I think of Wes Craven because Wes Craven.
Spy Kids.
He was?
No.
He played someone called the Squatter.
The Spy Kids?
It was it's Spy Kids TV series.
Oh dear.
I don't have little ones to watch that sort of
We don't watch this.
I found that we don't watch that in this house.
He was in a really good movie that I saw a few years ago, Sanitarium, which is a really messed up movie.
It sounds good.
It's really good. It's about a bunch of crazy people in a sanitarium and how they got there. It's like an anthology or like a.
Oh, we love an anthology.
Love an anthology.
Yeah, we should just watch that sometime.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
can we talk about the cop that we all hated?
Oh my god.
Well, wait. Can we talk before we get there? Can we talk about Rod and his cell?
Rod.
Oh sure, yeah. Rod.
And I felt like Freddy tried to like frame it like he was suicidal and he just went and killed himself.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But what kind of suicide? Just like he didn't hang him. He like
he's like under the bed.
Like wrapped it around his neck and was like you could do that to yourself.
That's
like that would have killed
works.
him. And you know what my favorite part of that whole scene is? They walk in on him as he's dying.
Right.
He dies in front of their eyes and they just lay him on the ground and they're like, I guess he's dead.
They like wait a few seconds. They're
Did
like,
y'all not know about CPR back then?
no, no.
Like you could have
This is-
punched that guy in the chest, he would have come back to life.
This is also right before or right after Nancy goes in and he's all upset. And he's like, I feel like I could have saved her if I'd moved sooner. Well, Rod,
Perhaps.
if you'd moved at all.
Rod, if you'd done anything.
If you'd given like a minimal amount of effort, then maybe. I mean, probably not, but at least you wouldn't feel bad about it. Like,
I mean,
Oh,
but then they come in and they're like, well, he just offed himself.
he's dead.
It's done.
I
Sorry.
don't know.
it was an apparent suicide. I
Yep.
mean, what?
Nothing we can do
I,
now. They just start like digging the grave, like right there. Just
Yeah,
don't even
that's
give
it.
it a funeral.
That's it. No questions. Thank you.
And
I
then,
would-
but this is also before, or no, Glenn dies. He's
It's
the next
right before Glenn's death.
And Glenn, he was a good boyfriend. I felt like
He tried. I mean, I feel like
Yeah, he tried. I mean, he was good for what they were like 15-year-old. He was good for a 15-year-old boyfriend.
yeah, surely they were older than that, right? They were like seniors, right? I'm
I
assuming.
don't know. They were teenagers.
yeah,
Um,
I just high school.
They looked kind of young. Like they looked really
teens.
young to me.
And all Nancy was trying to do was save him. And once again, foiled by a horror movie parent, where she's like, I
mean-
took the keys and I don't know where they are. I mean, and also, how fast did her mom get those bars installed on the house?
Like, do you know a bar guy?
Yeah. Like,
Like-
do you have one on speed dial that you can just call?
And
And,
who just puts bars all over all their windows? Why did she do that?
That takes that's like at least a whole day of work, like that if they didn't already have them.
Like-
so I don't understand.
and what kind of bars would you get that locked from the inside? Like, or that you
From
could
the
like,
outside?
yeah, like
you
she
couldn't get
couldn't-
out. They're not
Yeah.
designed to keep people out. They're designed to keep people in.
Correct.
It's psychotic.
It's like a
Yes.
prison.
And so poor Glenn is being sucked into the bed
Mhm.
and um he has like the worst death out of everyone because at one point you see a
Oh, yeah.
leg like flip back up. Like you
Mhm.
can see his leg come out. But fun fact, that is the same room that was used in the stuff.
Really?
Mhm.
Huh.
They like
Oh, the
you know,
one where the
like
stuff
reverse.
covers
Yeah.
the whole room.
mhm.
think
Which
we
I
talked
wondered
about that during the stuff.
Yes. And I wondered if that was the same room that Tina was in too. Like I wondered if they'd
Flipping
used
around.
the same. Yeah.
I would think so. So what
That
is
was-
that? Just live on a soundstage somewhere?
They're like, we need the room.
You know, that
Over.
room.
Are you done with your blood thing? We've got a marshmallow
We've-
fluff room.
We've got a yogurt thing we got to film.
That's so funny. I sent Whitney actually a picture. There's some product out that has like the exact same font and like
Yes.
color scheme as the stuff.
I think I sent it to Lauren after you sent it to me.
it's like
And we
a
were
food too.
Wait, I don't
Like,
remember this.
I
It's
don't
a
remember.
food.
Yes.
I don't
Don't
remember what
eat
it's
that
called.
food.
Yeah.
Right, it's like ice cream or something. Like,
It
I was
looks
like,
PSA,
no,
do not eat
this is
this.
stuff.
It's like a
No.
current food?
It
Like a
literally
Yeah.
looks like they pulled the carton right out of the.
I think it was
movie.
from, it was
What
like
was it?
I think he saw it on social media and then sent it to me. It was like an
I sent
ad.
it to you
in
on
his
Instagram or
feed.
something. I'll have to
Oh my
find it
God.
later.
Yeah,
Right.
well, we need to alert the masses. Do
Right,
not
like-
eat this.
It's too late. It's too late.
It's done. The deed
That's
is done.
probably how we're going to ring in 2021. Just
Hey, hey,
yeah.
hey.
Just give it a couple months. March. We'll be hearing about this.
yeah.
The stuff.
So Glenn, who there's a little, I didn't realize this till the other day, little head nod and scream to Glenn because Tatum is wearing that same or similar jersey that Johnny Depp has on, like the little crop top.
Oh yeah.
He was so cute. in
Number
it. His
10.
little like crop. I like love it with his giant headphones and his huge hair.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that
Mm.
on social.
Someone was like there. I was looking at like a Reddit thread, and they were saying that this is a stretch for this to be a nod. They both just have the number 10, and I'm like,
Um,
no, I'm pretty sure because A, Wes Craven directed them both, and B, it's like a crop top that Johnny Depp is wearing.
you
and
know what I've
so is
noticed about people on
Tatum's.
Reddit? They're all miserable.
Oh, everyone's really mean. It's the meanest place on the internet, I feel like.
I mean,
Well, the kind of people who go out of their way to talk to you are typically the kind of people who go out of their way to be a-holes, is
Yes.
my experience on the internet.
Although I do love posting on Cake Day, because then someone's always like, "Happy Cake Day." And I'm like,
yeah,
Right, people are nice-
That's
well,
true. They're
right.
nice when they want to be.
There's nice people and then there's awful people, and it's mostly
Yeah.
awful people because they've run all the nice people away.
Well, you can follow threads like, or follow subs like, I don't know, like all educational. It's like all like, oh,
There are very wholesome
educational.
threads on there, but
Yeah. That's what I try to follow, not the mean stuff.
They all eventually get like some incels in there.
Yeah, somebody's mean all the time.
Yeah, across the board. Like I follow like a lot of reality TV stuff, and just reading the comments, people are they're just nasty. But there's no need for that. But anyway,
it's
not what
because
we're
you're
here to talk
anonymous.
about.
It's because it's anonymous.
Oh yeah, they can be.
And there's zero repercussions
douches.
for what you say over there.
Until you lose your job.
Yeah, till they figure out who you are.
I will say the one thing I do like about cancel culture is seeing some a-hole like go off on somebody in a viral video, and then you find out 5 minutes later they lost their job. Or
Yeah, because the internet is made up of nothing but like detectives and private eyes.
That's right.
Johnny's parents or Glenn's parents, for some reason, thought that Nancy was behind all of this because they banned her or
That's
banned
what their mind always goes to. The
I know.
parents.
It's always
that
another-
girl's no good for you.
Yeah. And the dad's like, I'll solve this problem. And
Oh,
take the phone off the
get
hook.
rid of her.
The dad is.
Great job, Dad.
Yes.
Really good
Well,
job.
he's out there being
Way to
creepy
go.
at first. He's out there like staring, and even the mom's like, honey, don't stare. Like,
Please stop.
please, you're making me feel uncomfortable.
God,
We're gonna have to burn you in a boiler room too. Oh, so poor Nancy
my
can't get to Glenn in time, and
No.
I don't know. I'm morbidly curious as to what happened to Glenn because I feel like there was an excessive amount of blood that was shot.
Yeah, like
back
how
out.
much blood is in
A human body?
A human body.
I mean,
always
I
forget the
know that at
answer.
one point there's a leg. There's a leg that pops back up.
Just the leg came.
Just
out.
one leg, and I'm like, what?
No, but that
happened?
was a lot of blood. But like, think about it. Think about all the blood in your body. Like, is that what that would look like? I don't know. Maybe. Ugh. Hate it.
So Glenn's dead. And this is the part where you can talk about the cop where Nancy screams out.
Well, I think I'm talking about a separate cop, but say your cop part first. It
Well-
might be the same cop, but
well,
a different
Probably
scene.
the same
She
cop.
tells her dad that she calls him and is like 20 minutes. And we've already discussed that it would take her much longer than 20 minutes to put these booby traps together, but whatever.
Right.
So 20 minutes goes by. She to bed. She pulls Freddie out. She catches him like after like a serious struggle.
Very
She can't-
masterfully. She
Yes.
sets up a theory, she like gets him out of
Yeah.
the dream so she can use her
True.
booby trap on him.
Yeah. Kudos to Nancy.
Good job.
Can't get out because drunk mom has put bars on the doors and windows. And she screams out,
All of them.
get
Even
my
the tiny one on
dad."
the window, the front door
Yes.
that she can't get through.
Yes. She screams out, get my dad. I need help. Help me. Like
He's in here.
hysterically.
He's going to kill
I've
me.
got him. And the cop goes, everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. And then he walks. What?
Well, and then
Bro,
2 minutes later,
bro.
when she's at the front door, he's like, I don't know, maybe I should go get the sergeant.
But the dad,
He can handle this.
the dad even told him.
Keep an eye on my daughter.
Yes. And he
Now-
was like, and that's the cop that is also in Scream. That's what I was talking
Is
about.
this the same cop who before what's that guy's name that didn't hang himself but was choked by the sheets in jail?
Rod.
Rod.
Just before we see him die, they arrive at the police station and the one cop, like they're like trying to tell him, go check on this inmate, like we're concerned about him. And the cop goes, I
Same
took the
cop.
night shift so I could get some peace and quiet.
Yes.
Sir, you're a cop.
First
Also-
of
but that
all,
is the same cop.
No,
Right?
it's two different
No,
cops.
different-
No.
Oh, was that
cop.
a different cop? I thought that
That's
was
a
the same
different cop. Mm-mm.
Okay, so
Okay.
like, okay,
No,
So
because the cop
that was my.
brings that
I'm
in.
like, he took the night shift. Normally, the
Also-
night shift is more like
yes,
functions than the day
Right.
shift.
Like,
not only should
But
he
sure,
expect peace and quiet as a job as a cop, unless you're like in like a podunk town or whatever, but then he takes the night shift, which is when all criminal activity increases for the most
Sure.
part.
Exactly.
When I do all
So,
mine.
That's the part I was
Logic
like, did I
was a
just hear
bit
that
flawed.
right?
I feel like the logic in this entire movie was a little bit like, it was 1984, so we got to give them that, like, a lot of horror movie like tropes were still like being created and like people were still feeling out the genre, but
I loved how the dream doctor,
The dream doctor.
well, they took her to a dream doctor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then
I just like the title.
he
Dream
was
Doctor.
like, she was like, what are dreams? And he was like, beats me.
he's like, we don't even really
You're
know.
right,
We have no
Doctor
idea.
Dreams.
Right. How are you doing your job, sir? He was seriously like, I don't know. Do you know? Could you tell me? Like,
What do you think
maybe
they
I
are?
do
Yes.
love how he's like sport announcing, like play by playing her sleep cycle. He's like, oh,
Yes.
she's getting into theta.
yes.
Oh, she's at a 3. If she gets at a 5, it'll be a nightmare. Oh, she's dreaming. She's an REM
He's like,
now.
we've never seen levels this high before. Okay, why aren't you alarmed? Maybe go wake her up. Like,
And she's like crashing.
crashing. And the mom's like, is she asleep? Well, it doesn't matter. She's clearly in pain.
I don't think that's the issue right now.
Right. I loved him. He just didn't know. She was like, what are dreams? No clue. No clue. Nobody knows. It
We
reminded
don't
me
know
of
where
like
they. We don't
Ron
even know where they
Burgundy.
come from.
It reminded
Yeah.
me of like Ron Burgundy.
Yes, exactly.
Ancients say that nobody knows what this means. All right. So, anyways, and you're gonna have to explain the ending to me because
Okay.
I don't get it. Like, I know that Nancy's mom. I guess Freddie's like, I can't have Nancy, so I'll get you. And he takes
That
the
was
mom.
the way that I took it, but I'm
Okay.
curious to hear Eric's analyzation.
I have a few things here. So obviously, so the end of the movie begins with her pulling Freddie out of the nightmare and into the real world, which means she can actually hurt him, which I have problems with because earlier in the movie, we saw Freddie come into the real world and walk through prison bars. Like, we literally saw him like,
Yes.
like walk, anyways. But she brings him out and she beats him up with all this stuff, which seems completely whatever. But then she lights him on fire, and that seems to do the job for the most part. And then he goes up and kills her mother and like disappears, comes back, tries to get her, but that's when she's like found her power, and she's like, nope, I take it all back. I'm not scared of you. And then he just like disappears back into the dream world, I guess.
Yeah.
But this is where the plot thickens because it seems like everything's fine except for all of her friends are dead. And then she like wakes up, or she decides to like walk out the door and like wake up, I guess is what she's like, this has all been a dream. I'm just going to wake up now.
Yeah.
But she doesn't wake up. She just walks through the door and she's outside. And all of a sudden she's like, oh, I guess I woke up
I
and
thought-
it's morning. And like, no, because she goes straight from he just disappeared and she beat him to walking out the front door
Wait,
with
hold
her
on
mom.
though. Well, what part comes in where? Because I remember thinking again how stupid the cops were. It was her dad this time. And they come in and there's literal, like, because she sets Freddie on fire, which you think he'd be used to fire by now. Like, well, I don't know. Like, that seems a weird thing.
You
to do.
died by it.
Yeah. So he comes in and then there's like fiery footprints all over their carpet. And that's when
Well,
they find the mom dead, right? Or she
when-
like, and then she
here's
just
what's-
weirdly lowers down into some different realm.
Yes, but there's kind of
Goodbye.
there's like a, I don't know what you call it, an Easter egg. There's a thing here that I think a lot of people probably missed, but it bothered me when they walk in the house, when her dad and everybody finally bust in the house, there are no fiery footprints up the stairs or on the floor. And they walk through the area where the fiery footprints are about to be. And she's like, he's downstairs. And that's when they turn, and now all of a sudden the fiery footprints are exactly where they just came from and leading up the stairs, which is
So I
when
must
they
have
then
missed that. I must have missed that because I thought the cops were being stupid by being like, they didn't act
everything
like anything
about
was alarming.
that led me to believe it was still part of the dream. And so she gets up, her and her dad get upstairs, and her mom's like being burned to death by Freddie, like laying on top of her.
That mom must have got a deal on some fire retardant sleepwear because that satin nightgown
It was just her body that burned up.
untouched. Like,
So my thing,
Unscathed.
I'm guessing that like Freddy just wanted to like do to her what she did to him. Because honestly, at this point in the movie, I'm sitting here thinking, did a mob kill Freddy or did she
Was it
kill
just
Freddy?
her?
Right.
Hit.
Like, anyways, so Freddy burns her mom to death. Her and dad are like, oh no, let's not do anything. We're just going to watch.
Again,
and then she sinks into the bed and
Nancy's
disappears
like,
forever.
Shucks, there goes mom.
And then dad's like, oh, well, that was really unfortunate. I guess I'll leave you alone. You know, she's like, leave me alone for a minute. Because I guess she was going to go back to sleep and like try and bring him back out again. It was my thought. Like, I feel like I don't know. But then he pops up and she's like, no, you know what? I'm not afraid of you. I take back all the power, and he like disappears, which I think was a fake. I think he was tricking her.
Well, I was like, all of a sudden we've got Tinkerbell rules. Like, if you don't believe in me, like you're gone. Like
that's how my sister treats stuff. If she doesn't like it, she doesn't believe in it, and therefore it's not real.
Gone. And it's like all right, are we operating in
I feel like we can all agree that that's like half the country right now. But
true.
But so it's just so weird because she's like, okay, like you're not real, you can't hurt me, and then he disappears, and she's like, this is all I know what it was. This has all been the nightmare, and she like opens the door, and that's when she steps out, fresh face and fully dressed.
It was like, it's so bright,
and it's like they're talking to each other like they remember waking up and getting ready and then walking out the door, but that never happened. And then immediately after, she gets in the car, all of her friends are alive, and then it turns out it's a Freddy car and it traps them and they drive away. And then Freddy like pulls her mom back in. So my theory here is that the entire movie happened in the nightmare and he killed them all in the nightmare. They're probably dead in real life, but they're all still trapped in his nightmare world. Or maybe he didn't
like forced to relive situations, or
right. They're all just like, I mean, obviously, like no real car would just like turn into a magical like Freddy machine and like drive them off, and like
that's interesting. That the whole thing, like that makes sense. Like
I'm pretty sure the whole
movie
movie
think
was
about it like that. But...
Well, I was like, is everybody dead now? So like, because they do in the sequels. Is Nancy in the sequel?
I don't think so. I think it's a different cast, isn't it?
I thought I know in like by the third one it is.
Yeah, they were just setting themselves up for success. A franchise.
My final clue that this was all a dream was the opening scene. Like him like making his glove. Like I kind of just felt like that was the beginning of the nightmares, just like him like doing that, and then it transitions into Tina getting chased, and then it just never actually leaves all that. They're all just trapped in it together.
I get that.
And I think all the townspeople are just, I don't know if they're like, are they trapped too? Or
I didn't think anybody else was in it, right?
I don't know. The end of this movie has a very like open-ended. I'm sure somebody on the internet has.
I'm sure someone on Reddit has
yell at us.
This has been my TED talk on the ending.
So I just looked it up, and so Nancy is not in 2. And also Shane just said Nancy came back in 3. And it apparently, according to IMDb, it picks up where the original nightmare left off. Nancy's grown up and become a psychiatrist specializing in dream therapy, how?
Is she a doctor of dreams?
Are you a dream doctor now, Nancy?
Yes, so.
I didn't understand the ending at all. And I need clarification. I know that Brian and Ashvin covered this recently on
oh yes, why I wanted to talk about why Ashvin hated it so much, because I saw like your little exchange on Twitter,
I can't remember exactly. I remember part of it because I think we talked about it in their Discord server, which if you are a horror movie fan, you can join their horror movie club Discord. It's a good time. Everybody chats, and as we all know, I love a good forum. So
he does love a good forum.
I think Ashvin mainly hated the fedora. And I also feel like the fedora it's just very impractical. There's no way he could keep it on his head the whole time as he's murdering
people. This man is like horribly burned.
Maybe it's
wearing
sticky.
a fedora gives him some semblance of
Well,
confidence.
maybe his skin from being burnt is a little, sticky, all the like moisture. So maybe he doesn't have an issue with it like coming off. But
I mean,
Ashvin hated this movie
because of the fedora.
I think so.
Oh, I respect his opinion as a fellow podcaster.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna laugh at it for a little bit.
Oh no, I laughed at it. Like it was funny because there were some people that were like, "Are you serious?" Like in the Discord, and it's a really funny exchange. You have to go back into our podcast discussion to find it, but it was pretty funny. So, all right, are we ready to do our ratings?
I am.
Yes, ma'am.
We didn't miss anything. Covered it all.
I mean,
yeah, I know.
We spent an hour and like an hour talking about it. I'm pretty sure we covered it.
Okay. I will go and I give this I'm gonna have to like preface this because I have said for a long time, like I am not a fan of the big three. Like I respect
Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers.
But they're never like my go-to horror movies. And forever I would say like, oh, Freddy's my least favorite because he makes these like stupid puns or whatever. But after recently watching Friday the 13th and Halloween and Nightmare, I'm going to say that Freddy has been bumped up. Like as silly as this movie is, it's entertaining. And I felt like it was like, I wasn't ever scared of it when I was little, but watching it now, I feel like it was a little scarier than just Freddy or Jason, or not Freddy, or Michael or Jason just kind of stalking somebody through the woods or in their town or whatever. It just like didn't build up enough suspense. But with this, like I said, it makes me really anxious that these people can't sleep. If I couldn't sleep, I would die. Like, and I'm not talking like I would die like because I stayed up for so long. Like it would be like if you didn't let me sleep for like 24 hours, I'd probably die. Just because I sleep way more than the average.
I love sleep.
Oh, I do too. I love a nap. Love a nap. So this one, it was entertaining and I liked the characters and I love young Johnny Depp and his little crop top jersey. And so I'm giving this a lights, camera, yes for me because I enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining and I think I was more entertained by this one than the other two. So I'm retracting my previous statements about Freddy being my least favorite.
You shocked me with that.
I know. So there's my rating.
I have a lot of problems with this movie. But I also love a lot of things about this movie. So it's a very hard one for me to give a rating to. But the tiebreaker for me is just like how ridiculous Freddy's character is. As much as it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I give it a lights, camera, yes.
Oh, mechanically sound and all?
75% mechanically sound.
That's
right.
passing.
Good enough.
Passing grade. Degrees.
Well, I feel like also like Eric's like he says like some of the magic it like kind of factors in.
Right.
You have to
something's mechanically sound.
Yeah. You got to take it with a grain of salt. I am giving it a lights, camera, yes, obviously. Not obviously. I mean, I am me, but the same thing kind of for you, Whitney. The concept of this movie, it's not so much about like not being able to sleep, but the openness of like something haunting you in your dreams freaks me out. And like I love that they like use that as the driving force in this movie. Night terrors, some people have night terrors, some people have nightmares. I don't care who you are, you've definitely had a nightmare at some point in your life. I haven't had anything as extreme as a night terror, but like I can't imagine not being able to escape the kind of like horrors you're seeing while you're sleeping. But this movie tapping into that fear in like a fun and engaging way and like turning it into a franchise made me want to give this a lights, camera, yes. So
all right.
3 yeses. That was surprising to me, actually. I did not think it would get 3 yeses. For whatever.
I didn't think. I thought one of you guys were gonna be like, eh.
I almost gave it a no.
Oh, you were this close.
I was that close.
wasn't sure what I was going to give it until I started talking. Honestly, I was just like, I don't
See,
know.
I like that though. Sometimes you have to like talk through it. It's like therapy.
Mhm.
Like you just gotta
Yeah.
like talk through it, and then you're like, no, I liked it.
Yes.
All right. I guess I like.
Fine, I'll admit it. It does make me want to watch Dream Warriors because I've heard so much about it. Like in the horror community, they like that one's mentioned a lot. I've seen, I have not seen all of them, but I've seen a few. But I mostly remember like the deaths, but I don't remember which one they're in. Like there's a Roach Motel death that terrified me as a kid.
Ugh. I would
yeah.
hate that.
Yeah, it's real gross. Also, you know what else we didn't talk about was, well, I guess it's not really relevant yet, but the whole Will Smith made the song Nightmare on My Street.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that song.
And they don't use it. Like I think what I read was that they had made it and it was going to be in Dream Warriors. And then they decided to go with another one. And it's so terrible. Like the ending song is so terrible. Like why would
Trash.
Yes. I love Nightmare on My Street as a kid. Anyways, I want to take a minute to kind of give some shout outs to some people that I feel like we're forgetting. Like we have not, like, I feel like we haven't properly given Ashvin credit for creating our intro and outro music.
Yes, despite his silly thoughts on fedoras.
Well,
he did our awesome intro music.
Yes, he wrote it and created it for us. And you can find him at Horror Movie Club. They have new episodes almost every Wednesday, or it is every Wednesday. And then you can follow them on, oh my God, I can't remember their Twitter handle because they just changed it. If you follow Lights Camera No, you'll see me retweet them sometimes a lot. So anyways, and then like I said, their Discord server is available
for Horror Movie CLB.
There you go. Horror Movie CLB on Facebook and are on Twitter, and they're also on
Facebook. What was it previously? I didn't realize they changed
HMC.
Yeah, I think it was like I can't remember.
Well, because now they've got horror movie right in the tag, so
yeah.
Yay.
And I want to say it was taken when they first signed up for Twitter, and that's why they couldn't.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
But
hence the CLB.
Yeah, so I wanted to give them a little shout out and tell people to join their Discord if they want to chat about stuff, because they've been getting a lot of new users there lately, and the conversation is just constant. And they have different, like, it's mostly Horror Movie Club, but sometimes it'll spiral off into other funny stuff. Like now they have a currently reading channel in there, which is good if you're like into books or whatever.
Nice.
So that about does it for this week. We have not picked our movie for next week as per usual. If you have something you want us to review, you can always email us at lightscammerno@gmail.com. You can follow us on all the socials at lightscammerno, except for Facebook, which is LCN Podcast. What else do I always say? It's been so long. I don't even know what
Thank you guys for listening.
Oh yeah.
If you I thought there was something. Us a review.
We would love to get more reviews in 2021. The big player is obviously Apple Podcasts. So if you want to do it there, that would be fantastic. So we could get more listeners and potentially more watchers. Like we broadcast on Twitch every Wednesday, and you get to see a little bit of before and after we start recording, which I don't know. Maybe you're into that. Maybe you're not.
Whatever you're into.
Maybe you're into that sort of thing.
I don't know. So, all right, guys, that about does it. I want to thank everybody for listening, and I hope you tune in next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Later, guys.